Sonic Frontiers gameplay gets more and more footage with every week, and now we have an explanation of what open zone gameplay or what an open zone world is going to look like. Many people took issue with the open world feel of the game, and then we were told it was actually open zone, and that is going to be explained right here at the beginning of this video. I have the interview, I have all the information. Hit subscribe and the bell button so you don't miss my live shows. I give you the goods right at the beginning so you don't have to go searching for it. This is a Reforge update. Sonic Frontiers gameplay is getting combed over every time new footage comes out, and one of the central pieces of the gameplay that many people were asking about was the open world feel. We were told it was an open zone game or a game that had open zone world, and we weren't quite sure what that meant. We now have an explanation from an interview. If you like these quick Reforge updates, be sure to hit subscribe and the bell button, and check out Reforge Gaming, where I stream live every day. So I pulled this from thegamer.com, Sonic Frontiers open zone world explained by the game director. So the game director essentially is trying to tell us why they went this way, what exactly it means. So, since the game's initial announcement, Sega has referred to Sonic Frontiers open world as open zone, a term that seemed like a meaningless distinction for the longest time. However, in a new interview with IGN, game director Morio Kishimoto finally tells us what open zone actually means. So the initial explanation is this quote here. Level-based platformers often have a world map. Our open zone is a world map, only we've made it entirely playable. So they've basically taken something that level-based platformers have done in the past, where you're just sort of having this open zone that you can go to on a world map, although they're making that playable. If you remember in Super Mario 3, how you could go from each level, and yet it was its own sort of zone, they're connecting those in a different way. So further details. A playable world map that includes stage-like elements is something that hasn't really been done before, so we had to come up with a new name. What is often defined as a world in other level-based platformers is often called a zone in Sonic games. So we took that and combined it with open, which refers to a freely explorable field. So that's what open zone stands for. Now, this might add to criticism, in my opinion, because what's the point of that? Being able to actually go in between those areas doesn't serve much of a purpose other than the fact that the game just looks quasi open world. However, according to this interview, it's a central part of the game. Quote, the open zone stands central in Sonic Frontiers gameplay, and the game's levels exist as elements within this area. From grind rails to platform objects, loops, and so on, the open zone is packed with athletic action we love in Sonic games. Now, this has been a game that people have been concerned about. Even at thegamer.com, they had the following to say. In his preview, our own Eric Switzer expressed some misgivings about the open zone structure of Sonic Frontiers, thanks to a lack of flow between the points of interest. Part of the reason why platformers have overworld maps is to simply get players to the good stuff, the levels, as quickly as possible. Again, think about Super Mario Bros. 3, when you're in like the giant zone, okay, and you go from level 1 to level 2, each of those levels is like a contained experience, and being able to travel from one to the next wouldn't serve much of a purpose. However, apparently speed and difficulty was considered. This is from Kishimoto. In previous Sonic titles, we had to gradually make the stages more difficult in order to reach an amount of playtime that would satisfy players. It is natural for level-based platformers to become more difficult as you progress. However, for Sonic games, the problem has always been that higher difficulty can get in the way of the game's sense of speed. In Sonic Frontiers, the open zone offers a lot of content already, so raising the difficulty in order to increase the playtime was no longer necessary. From start to finish, we were able to maintain a sense of speed with ideal level design for a Sonic game. So my thoughts are, this still kind of seems confusing. It seems like a lot of focus is being put on this open zone area and how it just has stuff to do, and also concerns about how it's not going to get more difficult the further you get in. The latest gameplay does look faster. This footage that I'm running in the corner is the initial gameplay. There is newer gameplay where Sonic looks quite a bit quicker. That could be skill points that are spent leveling the character up, or just somebody that understands the game more than that initial footage. The game feels thematically confused at this point, Curious what you think. Leave a comment below or head over to Reforge Gaming to discuss these with me live. As always, hit subscribe and the bell button, and I'll see you in the next video. And I'll see all of you right now. Thank you so much for being here this morning. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning. Sorry about the late start. I have an appointment today, and I think they just called and left me a voicemail. This happens all the time. Ask you to arrive 20 to 15 minutes before your appointment to register, or also call from the parking lot when you get here. Okay, so I got to get there a little bit early. All right. Sorry about that. That's why we were struggling a little bit to get started and get up and running. Also, we will be checking out the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game today. We will be checking that out. Do not forget, we try to feature gameplay here pretty regularly. And first coffee order of the day will get printed right away. So if you haven't ordered coffee recently, you need to re-up. Now's a great time. Our second stream of the day will be about Starfield. We've talked about Starfield an awful lot, and I did not want to start the day again with Starfield, so I kicked it to the second show. Curious what you guys think about this open zone explanation. Does it make you feel any better about the game? Does it make you feel like you want to play any more? Give me 1 second. Yo, what's good, feed? Good to see you in the chat. Again, it looks fun. Maybe we've all forgotten the joy of just exploring and puzzle solving for the sake of it. I think that pure joy is why I was so surprised. And I love with Phoenix Rising. Well, here's the difference between Sonic Frontiers and Phoenix Rising, though, Derek. Phoenix Rising is an open world that seamlessly flows from one area to the next, or from one section to the next. You might stumble upon a puzzle, a challenge, an area, a mini-boss, just some enemies, maybe one of those weird rocky rift things that you jump into. Sonic Frontiers isn't that. Sonic Frontiers is open zone, so what they're doing is, as I said, it's like Super Mario Bros. 3, where when you're in the desert zone, there's level 1 and 2, and you go into level 1, and then blink, 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 you come out, and then you go into level 2, okay? You come back to that world map. What they've done is they've taken that world map and turned it into a zone that, like, you go from sort of determined area to the next, and it's like, well, what's the actual point of that? Why am I doing that? This is very, oh my gosh, this is similar to the debate that we've been having about Starfield space travel. What would be the point in flying seamlessly between the planets if there was nothing actually to do out there? It would purely be so you could do it. There wouldn't actually be gameplay reasons behind it. It would start to feel frivolous. You'd be like, can you just take me to where I need to go to do the next thing? I don't understand why I'm literally running on the world map. I'm not saying it's going to be bad. I'm saying it's a confusing design decision because it just ends up looking like you created a quasi-open world game just because. He doesn't give any design reasons behind it. He just says nobody's ever really done this. I still get adventure vibes, but it really feels like it's struggling with its identity. And what did you call it? Gaming buffet syndrome. Yeah, it's like game buffet syndrome, where the game just grabs every possible thing that you could think of from another game. Or from another game type, I'm sorry. So they're like, well, how could we do open world in Sonic? And it's like, well, we could do the map open world, not the levels themselves, but the levels themselves would be attached to that. They're pre-designed. Yo, Clay Road to Derp, starting the day off strong, gifting 5 memberships. John Bon Zombie, I love that name. Glad to see you back, John Bon Zombie. After yesterday, I love when people disagree with me and keep coming back. That's always a good sign. Nemesis, The Fabulous Gentleman, Clear Knight, and Hadrian. Bam, 5 members right off the rip. We were at like 1,600 something members. We've unlocked emotes. I've got to eat a steak with ketchup. You guys went absolutely crazy. So thank you for that support recently. Again, there's a variety of ways to support the channel. The free and easy way to support is get here in the mornings, switch to live chat, and then smash that like button. We are 12 likes We are 12 likes away from the first 100 likes. Those first 100 likes always help the faster we get them. Sure, but don't most people play open world maps kind of zone by zone anyway? I very specifically clear an entire area as much as possible for exploring further. Zones just wall off each theme. No, we're not going to do it well done. We've answered that question enough. We don't need to keep doing that. But that's okay. I hear what you're saying. Listen to what it is, though. A playable world map that includes stage-like elements is something that hasn't really been done. So what it is you're not going from like a zone to a zone and it's like this big world. You're going from like a stage or a level. It's got stage-like elements. It's like a contained thing. So what's often defined as a world in other level-based platformers is called a zone. So they're even kind of blurring... There's even kind of blurring that line of like, well, that's a zone. You're in that zone or that world. And now, no, this is an entire open zone world where you can just walk from zone to zone. A $5 tip from Nick. Thank you for the tip. Frontier seems like an evolution of Adventure 1, various open areas with levels in various places. Yeah, it kind of does feel that way, and I don't understand why they would do it. It feels like you spent all that development time doing that. What purpose does it serve? You could have just not done that, made it level-based. I mean, would anybody have complained about that? And maybe you would have been able to make a bigger game. I don't know. It's weird for me to be pushing back in a positive direction. Why is it positive? That's the question. You have to substantiate the positivity of it, I think. What makes it positive? Like, what is it about it? Is Shredder's Revenge on Game Pass, by the way? I forgot to pull my Xbox in here, dadgummit. Is it on Game Pass? Because I don't feel like paying for that game, seriously. If I buy it in Steam, I want to play it with my kiddos, so I was going to get it on the Xbox. Is the implication that there will be stages and levels in addition to the world map? If so, why haven't we seen any of that? It is? Okay. Dadgummit, I should have pulled my Xbox in here. I don't like stepping away. We'll have to do that later. It's fine. I'll have time to do it. It'll probably install very quickly. Yeah, it sounds to me like it would, again, imagine if Super Mario 3 was... Let me see if I can get a Super Mario 3 map for you so I can make this make more sense. Right? We just need a Super Mario 3 map. That's all I need. I just need a map of one of the things. That's all I need for our thought experiment so we can make sense of this. All right? Open image in a new tab. Hold your applause. I'm back. Yo, Jaja, welcome back, man. Thank you for the $10 tip. You are the absolute best. Welcome back, my friend. Very generous. Let me make sure we don't have any coffee orders. First coffee order of the day gets printed and goes out with today's orders because I cannot stand that odd number thing. So feel free to order some. Listen, if you guys haven't seen it yet, we did update the bags as I wrecked one. We updated the bags. Everything now under Reforge. Reforge Roast. I've been slowly updating all of the bags. I think they look fantastic. So be sure to order some. I'm supposed to be getting pictures for Creature. I'm doing a terrible job at that every evening. Okay, so the map almost connects with my display. That's funny. So basically, I want you to imagine that they remade Super Mario Bros. 3 and it was a 3D quasi-open world. And what it would be is, do you see this area up here between level 1 and 2? Okay? Actually, forget that. This would be the open world. And then when you got to this section where level 1 is, that level would kind of be there. Sort of pre-made. It's like a stage-like area that you get to, and there's all this stuff to do. And then when you wander over here, continue, you get to zone, you get to level 3. So it's an open zone. Does that make sense? It's one of those things where I would question why. Now, there might be reasons for that. They might say, we really feel it gives the game a fuller, bigger sense, and we've added all kinds of cool things to do in between, achievements to unlock, etc. You know, I'm not saying it's a bad idea, but that's what Sonic Frontiers is going to be. You're going to move from sort of zone to zone. You're on the map instead of like looking at the map and choosing what level you want to go to. I highly suggest investing in a Series S. It's really cheap. You can find it for $250. It's portable. I don't know why I would buy that. It's not going to be able to run a lot of games as well as others. I have no interest in that system. That system is a problem. Sounds more like a sandbox. Maybe it'll work. Still feels like an identity crisis, which isn't a first for Sonic. I'm not. Yeah, I think that's a good word. I'm not saying that this is a bad idea. I'm saying that it doesn't make sense. It's like, why'd you do it? If you're just designing like really crazy fast levels, then do that. If you want to do an open world Sonic game, then do that. But they didn't do either. They're kind of landing in the middle. Now, I'm not gonna knock them and act like it isn't possible for it to be good. I'm not gonna sit here and knock them and say, oh, it's gonna be bad. So I'm not doing the presumptive thing that drove me crazy yesterday, where everybody's like, oh, it's gonna be bad, it's gonna be bad, it's gonna be bad. I'm not doing that. What I'm doing is similar to what Suede is saying. It kind of feels like you're just grabbing things from other games just because. Because he literally said, well, nobody else is doing this. I'm like, well, that's not a reason to do it. Did it make the game better? What's the vision for the game? I don't. What's your vision for Sonic Frontiers? Maybe they feel it's the evolution of Sonic. I'll buy a Series S and copy of Silksong and then resell it when I finish the game. I really don't know how I feel about this, says Alex. It just sounds like someone made a Sonic-themed GTA mod. I want this game to be good because I would be the first to get it. I just don't see the point right now. Right, I don't want to be the negative Nancy. I don't want to act like they can't evolve Sonic, but it sounds like such a strange design decision. When I hear conversations like this is something I get concerned about. This is something we've talked about recently. The infatuation with innovation. Infatuation is totally a thing. Every time you go to a website and they've added all these new features and they've changed a bunch of stuff and it doesn't help you and it makes things worse, right? I read a book on this. I read a book on usability and they talked about how innovation to a fault, like you can innovate in web design and in application design to a fault and it makes the application cumbersome or less enjoyable or less familiar. So innovation and infatuation is totally a thing. Like people get infatuated with it, like, oh, if we do this, 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 and this, it'll be cool. And people like cool things, right? And then it ends up hurting gameplay. I wasn't arguing it's necessarily positive. I mean, it's unusual for me to be contrary and not negative. I'm just saying it looks fun and the zones make some sense in light of how we already play open world games, I think is what you were trying to say. Just because you can doesn't mean you should, Ian Malcolm. That's right. Glad you are streaming. Keeps me positive. It's been a rough week with 20 cases to deal with in your facility. Needless to say, a lot of work. Yeah, well, you know, I'm not even gonna comment. I want to rip those guys in that conference so bad, but I'm not going to. I'm honestly rooting for the game. I think the combat movement and the puzzles can be great. I just hope the game doesn't get lost in an overzealous attempt to do something that hasn't been done. I am not concerned because it's inherently a bad idea. I am concerned because of the way that it was talked about. It's like, so you didn't want to build an open world Sonic game. You wanted to build a game where I could play on the world map. What? Nice bait. You old heads are cutting this up and tearing it to pieces, tearing it apart like it's supposed to be the next breakthrough in gaming. It's a Sonic game introducing aspects. How is it bait? What do you mean? That's the title and the thumbnail are literally what we're doing. Sonic Frontiers gameplay, open zone explained, and the thumbnail says open zone explained. I read an interview with the game's director explaining what open zone is. I truly didn't understand it. The opening of the article said the same thing. We're like, what's open zone? What does that even mean? And then they explained it, and I'm like, I still don't get why you did that. I don't understand. He's replying to me about asking who the game's for. Oh. I was going to say, I'm not baiting. Oh my goodness, I'm not baiting. Track with me. They are treating Sonic like Forza. You get to drive to the next event. You can do little cool side things on the way there. Still in my head, why? I don't need a developer to substantiate their decisions to me. I don't want to sound like some entitled gamer that's like, hey, why are you doing that? You better tell me, right? That's not something that I'm doing. I don't want to sound like that. If you're just tuning in, we're covering Sonic Frontiers gameplay. Open Zone has been explained in an interview. I read through those portions at the beginning. I'm going to continue to try to give you like a Cliff's Notes version of what exactly they're doing with the game. We've covered this game a handful of times, and lots of people tuned in for the gameplay, so people are very interested in Sonic. If you've been here before, thanks for coming back. If it's your first time here, hit subscribe and the bell button so you don't miss my content, and smash the like button. There's other great ways to support the channel as well. I'm not calling this bait. Someone called my earlier comment bait, not you. Okay, I was going to say, I was like, wow, you're accusing me of bait? Really? I was like, that was confusing. What's good, Orphan Twin? Sonic Adventure on Dreamcast was one of my all-time favorite games, and this looks like the evolution of that. Zane says, I reckon this is already a breakthrough in Sonic, but they're not showing it properly. And then Samurai King says the world looks bland. I have to actually see it in action to judge it. Eugene says, has any of their footage shown the stages? That's another question, Eugene. So what have we seen up to now? Is that just the open zone area with like fun stuff to do in between? Or have we seen like an actual staged area, like an actual quote unquote like level? Has that actually happened? You guys going to see? Yeah, they just told me I have to show up like 15 minutes early, and you have to call from the parking lot to be like, I'm here. There's.
You asked if they're going to take you at your appointment time, or they're going to see each other.
I don't know. There's actual stages, but they haven't shown us. So what we've seen up to now is just what then? Just like the fun stuff in between? You replied a bit. Didn't we all really dig Mario 64 style of having each area be open and not linear, but having a zoned off so you can focus a bit? I would love a new game like that. Yeah, I think it can be done well. I want to be clear about that, right? I want to be clear about that. I think it can be done well. I'm not saying it cannot be done well. I don't see the justification for it in the interview. He just says it hasn't been done before. Okay. Oh, I don't want to do a disservice to him. Let's go back and read the comments. Okay. Let's go back and read the comments. He says level-based platformers often have a world map. Our open zone is a world map, only we've made it entirely playable. So is that what we're looking at? Are we looking at like an in-between area that you go to, kind of derp around in, and then like jump, like when you jump through paintings in Mario, am I gonna like go jump through a portal? So have all we've seen is like a little world map playground, or have we seen one of the areas? He then says a playable world map that includes stage-like elements is something that hasn't really been done before, so we had to come up with a new name. What's often defined as a world in other level-based platformers is called a zone in Sonic games, so we took that and combined it, which refers to a freely explorable field, so that's what open zone stands for. And I'm like, oh, okay, but why did you do this? The open zone stands central in Sonic Frontiers gameplay, and the game's levels exist as elements within that area. So the entire open zone, the levels are in there. It says, he just said that. He said the open zone stands as central to the gameplay, and the game's levels exist as elements within this area. Now that still could mean we warp into it, though. The game's levels exist as elements within the area. I don't know. He says, from grind rails to platform object loops and so on, the open zone is packed with athletic action we love to see in Sonic games. Now, the concerns from one of the guys at The Gamer, he said there was just a lack of flow between the points of interest. a guy that got hands-on at the Gamer, I always feel like thegamer.com is very fair to games. He said he was concerned that the open zone structure wasn't going to work all that well. There was a lack of flow. Part of the reason why platformers have overworld maps is simply to get players to the good stuff, the levels themselves. It looks like one of the open zones from the footage that we've seen. Distorted says, I'm saying full realism ain't it when it comes to a Sonic game. Semi-realistic is fine. You know what's funny? I have a short on Sonic Frontiers gameplay. I did a little short where we increase the saturation, and I was blown away by how immediately people are disagreeing with me. They're like, I think it looks fine. What's the problem? No, this looks bad. No. They're all like, no, it looks fine. I'm like, the game world looks so bland. It's not even, I don't even care about the realism. It just looks bland. Sonic looks like this big bright blue toy, and the game world itself looks like this bland prefab thing that they just kind of like dropped him into. So like Bowser's Fury. I don't really remember how they did it in Bowser's Fury. I feel like you went to each individual level still. Did you not? Or was it just one big open area? It was just one big open area, wasn't it? I'm being too short for brevity's sake. I think if the zones look like older Sonic stuff and they put the right enemies in, it'll be great for fans. Okay, I don't disagree with that at all. I think this game can be awesome. What I'm reading sounds like, I don't know. It's just odd. It's like you created this big open zone so that you could put stage-like areas within it. So it's a playable world map, basically. And I can move around on this playable world map and go through each individual stages. Listen to what he says about speed and difficulty. In previous Sonic titles, we had to gradually make the stages more difficult in order to reach an amount of playtime that would satisfy players. It is natural for level-based platformers to become more difficult as you progress. However, for Sonic games, the problem has always been that higher difficulty can get in the way of the game's sense of speed. In Sonic Frontiers, the open zone offers a lot of content already, so raising the difficulty in order to increase the playtime was no longer necessary. From start to finish, we were able to maintain a sense of speed with ideal level design for a Sonic game. So they see the open zone just having so much content and so much playability that the difficulty, it sounds like the difficulty is not going to move that much as you progress through the game. Based on the description, the footage we saw was a level within an open world zone. Where was the goal of the level? What was the objective in the clip? I don't understand the design. That's exactly what I'm talking about, Alex. I'm like, what have we seen then? Was that just like an open zone playground for fun? Was that one of the staged areas? Was that like a quote-unquote level? Like, what have we seen? Because what we've seen so far, I just saw some obstacles and some rings, a couple of enemies, and then like a puzzle. Is that a level? Is that a zone? Is that, what is that? What have we seen? Because my concern would be this happened in Biomutant, right? Biomutant grabs so many things from other games, its identity sort of withered in front of your eyes. You're like, I don't really know what kind of game I'm playing. And with Sonic, I'm feeling the same way. I'm like, am I going to have a sense of direction, a sense of linear movement? Am I going to have a sense of progress? I don't understand what kind of game I've looked at. I now know what an open zone is. Thank you for the explanation. I actually think the explanation makes sense, sort of. But again, what's the game? What are we doing? And huge Mario painting style levels and zones that you can just get lost exploring. Let's go. Right, if that's how they set it up, I don't mind having like a central area you come and kind of derp around in and discover stuff. They've done that in the Lego Star Wars games, right? You go back to like a central hub and there's just stuff to do in that central hub as kind of like, you know, piddling some time away. And then you go through a door, painting, warp, or whatever the frick, and then you're in an actual level. So is this essentially a Ubisoft game where there's no actual order to do anything? You just need to clear the map of objectives. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. His commentary about difficulty makes it sound like, yeah, we didn't have to do anything with difficulty. It doesn't have to get harder as you progress because there's already a lot of content in it. Think of it like an adventure hub that requires its own progression to unlock actual stages, sort of similar to Unleashed. Okay, yeah, so then we've just... What have we seen then? We haven't seen the World Hub yet. So what have we seen? Have we seen a level? Have we seen a zone? That's the part that I'm stuck on. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to figure out what you've shown me. Because Sonic fought a boss out in a field. He fought a boss in kind of like a room. He fought like a little guy in like a little area. Right? Distorted on the saturation. The saturation 100% made it look more Sonic. It needs to be like newer 3D Mario game type of art style, in my opinion, more like Mario Odyssey. Yeah, I was blown away by how many people disagreed with my video where I bumped the saturation in OBS, and Chad and myself thought it looked significantly better. I don't know. It's... If you guys are new and you've just got here, thanks for pressing subscribe. We're getting some subscribers. I appreciate you being here. I am a safe for work broadcaster. A lot of people treat me like a video game podcast. I'm here Monday through Friday covering all sorts of game topics as well as gameplay. So we've got a Starfield topic for our second show, and our third show will be Shredder's Revenge, the new Ninja Turtles game that is harkening back to the arcade style games like Turtles in Time, the best Turtles game ever made. We've seen the open zone this whole time. Okay. Oh my gosh. I don't want you to think I'm mad at you when I respond like this. But what I don't understand what that means. What okay, open zone. So am I on the world map in like an in-between, or am I in a level? I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. I already know. Okay, just because sometimes there's new people and I get wound up real fast and they're like, holy moly, he's mad at that guy. It looks as though they've tried to lean more into a Breath of the Wild art style, except tried to make it more realistic, and therefore it's lost all of its personality. I don't know how anyone who's played Sonic games could disagree with the saturation thing. The very foundation of Sonic is high saturation, colorful environments. That's what I'm saying. Try to keep my comments, bro. I'm trying to break it down, but it's too many comments. All right, hang on, doobies. I don't like doing this, but I'm gonna... we have not seen any standalone levels yet that are traditional to the format. Everything we've seen is Izuka trying to help people understand the open zone format. The playground is your excuse to not get bored while trying to solve puzzles and platforming challenges until you get what you need to do the main speed-based traditional Sonic stages. So, okay, so you're telling me, Doobie, thank you for trying to clarify. According to Doobie's Gaming Academia, apparently we have not seen a traditional level yet. We've seen, like, the playground open zone in-between thing. That's what we've seen up to now. If you're just tuning in, we're discussing Sonic Frontiers gameplay. The open zone format was explained by the game's director, and we're trying to understand that with what we've seen and really justify it from a playing aspect. Like, what's the point of it? What exactly does that mean for the player, like, when you're in those areas? We've just seen the in-between, says Zane. Alex says, like, if it's a little open world hub area where you can create rail patterns and stuff, then that's awesome. But don't show us those clips and then talk about level design if it's not a level. Right. Do you know, I wonder if the reason when we've seen this little, like, open zone area, if the reason sometimes there's more grind rails and more structures, I wonder if, like, as Sonic is doing stuff, is that stuff coming into the central zone to give him more things to do? Like when you come back to a central hub and there's like trophies on the wall and new things around, like is that what's going on, do you think? Like he comes back to the open zone, the central hub area or whatever, and there's new grind rails and structures for him to go and do and get stuff and unlock. Like, that's what I'm wondering, if that's why this central hub is different in some of the footage. In some of the footage, there's like nothing there, and in other pieces of the footage, there's like new things in the area. Is that why they've continued? Is that why in the one interview did he say people don't understand what they're looking at? It's like, well, yeah, we don't understand what we're looking at. It's not really explained. It just looks like a boring little playground. It doesn't look like a game at all. That's why we've said it looks like a tech test. It looks like a tech test. It looks like you're just goofing around with Sonic in a prefab world with, you know, bland graphics and a couple of grind rails and structures. The open zones are going to be the hub worlds, but bigger because of Sonic's speed, and there's gears that unlock these stages using the boost formula to get keys to get Chaos Emeralds. I'm thinking all the random rails and springs planted around you are simply for you getting collectibles to get the feeling of speed in action. So basically what you're saying is they've shown us the walk between one mission to another. Creature, that's exactly what I think we've looked at, which would make sense why we all shrugged at it. We're like, huh? What the It would be like showing Star Wars Legos, and you're just like in the cantina bar walking around, and we're like, well, what in the heck is that? Is that all you're gonna do? Just walk around the bar? If you haven't played that game, whenever you're done with a mission, you kind of come back to the bar and you can like walk around, and then you leave and go to another mission. It might be like Arkham City, where the city is alive between doing isolated missions. You find collectibles, fight baddies. No, Britt, no. They've specifically indicated that that's not it. It's not an open world, it's open zone. So it's not like that at all. It's not like a Batman game where you just got this nice big open world. I don't know they're calling this a new thing, but this is just a Sonic collection, but again, bigger because of Sonic's speed. Why would you show that, though, says Quiet Shy? Not exactly a good advert for your game. Well, I'm gonna give them some credit here. Maybe they're pulling some kind of a 900 IQ play. And when they finally start unveiling the real meat of the gameplay, everyone's going to be like, it looks so much better, right? Like, there's this psychological thing that I wonder if game companies are catching on to. It's like, start out small, slightly disappointing, and then wow them later. You know what I'm saying? Instead of going crazy with an amazing trailer on the outset, and then you get the game and you're kind of like, well, I thought it was going to be faster or a little bit bluer. You know what I mean? Imagine the hub worlds in Sonic Adventure DX, where you have big walk-around areas like the jungle and the city, and then you have areas for which you can enter for whole new levels. That's what it seems like it's going to be, Jet. Yo, what's good, Meech? All that sounds like an evolution of Generations then, says Suede. You could find and move around the hub map, and stuff would unlock, it would light up, and it would become interactable as you progressed. I'll tell you right now, if they put an entire huge area that's nothing but Sonic Pinball, I will give them my money immediately. Playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on Xbox Game Pass? Yeah, we'll be playing that later. So the Bungie effect. Yeah, Bungie are the masters of this. They break something, and then they fix it, and everyone cheers. It's like the weirdest thing. They're like, hey, that thing that was broken, that you broke? Yeah, that thing that was broken, yeah, we fixed it. The reason I disagree with your saturation edit is because while it does make it look more Sonic, it just isn't what developers want from a game's tone. But also, it just clashes with the art direction. Can someone find me the tweet of the guy that, like, pixelified and sonicified all the plants and the grass and the areas? Can someone please find me that tweet? That image was incredible. That image is better than what I did. I just went into OBS and like turned up the saturation, which that's super rough. That's not gonna be kind to your eyes, right? It's not gonna be kind to your eyes. It's gonna be almost like, oh golly. The main point was the blues and the greens popped a little bit more. I'm not saying you have to do exactly what I did in the video. Josiah says, so open zone is referring to the several different islands where you spend most of your time and you gather materials to be able to play levels for a chance to collect Chaos Emeralds and unlock islands. See, that doesn't sound bad at all. Show me that. That sounds pretty good. That sounds like a good Sonic game. I'm glad developers know what they want, says Butters. Too bad that's not what players want. You know, the people that buy your games. I think we need to see more at this point. I actually think this game might surprise all of us now. I'm not kidding you. My mind is getting a tingle. It's like, wait a minute. Did they actually show us the literal worst, most boring, most bland part of the game first? And are we all like, what is this? And then later on, we're going to see the gameplay and be like, oh, I get it now. This looks awesome, right? Is that what's going on? Lots of new names up in here. I love how many gray names I'm seeing. I love it. You guys went so crazy like the first 2 weeks gifting members. It was nothing but green. I love seeing gray names in chat. Like, I'm dead serious. Misery says, is it like Spyro games where you had the inner zone, you run around, get collectibles, but you could also go into a level in the next? That sounds like that's what they're doing, and all the zones are like interconnected by the zone. The zone is basically like the world map, and you can like walk around. And before they announced micros, used to be a lurker. Well, I appreciate that support as well. Guys, let's set our sights on 200 likes. We're having a really, really strong start. We only need like 25 more likes, so smash that like button. It is free to smash the like button. It's free to subscribe. Again, as a reminder, I keep it safe for work. People treat me like a video game podcast. You can kind of throw me on in the background of your day, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We've got more content coming today about Starfield as well as the new Ninja Turtles game. So you think they're going to pull a 180 on us? I don't know. I'm getting a weird feeling. I'm getting a weird feeling about it. What developers want is completely irrelevant. If players want something, that's what you do if you want success. You are not making your art project. You are making a product that you want people to buy. Here is where I'm going to push back a little bit on that, Distorted, because we're getting into that territory with Starfield, and I find it to be annoying because it's their game and their vision, and until you see it, you have no idea, and you're not entitled to tell them what they're supposed to do. Now, you may be speaking specifically with existing franchises that the game community is going to have a stronger opinion or say in what the game should do and what the game should have. But in general, I have found a lot of the dialogue around Starfield to be annoying because it's like, you're not entitled to every game. You're not entitled to every developer adding features that you want. That's not a thing. Like, you know what I mean? The seamless flight thing in Starfield feels like that. It's like, you're not owed that feature. They didn't have to consult with you when they made this game. They had an idea of what they wanted to do. I'll give you an example. Do you know how many times I've seen games that look like amazing dungeon crawlers and then it's a rogue? I don't go to that game company and say, you know, you really should have considered what I wanted as a consumer. I want dungeon crawlers. I want action-adventure, top-down isometric RPGs, not rogue games. You really need to consider what I want, right? Like, you got to check that at some point. You know what I mean? You make it how your audience will best enjoy it. Exactly why some developers have to cave and change up things in their games. I'll give you an example of when it makes sense to do it. No Man's Sky did it. They made changes to the game to make sure that animals and planets and plant life looked way better because people kept complaining about it. And they had a vision and a philosophy that backed their original decision that they got rid of that philosophy. They were like, well, this is what people want. So I think initially, you know what I mean? Found a Twitter clip that looked like it got fixed up. It was a screenshot, I thought. The guy just went in and pixelified everything. I'd much rather have devs making the games and art that they want to make and letting that find the right fans rather than the games be made by gamer opinion. Right, that's what I was saying, Derek. Like, you're going to get lost in a field of input. You're going to have so many people. You're going to end up with Biomutant. Oh, well, you should put this in your game. You should put this in your game. I really like this. Can you put this in your game? And they're like, sure. That's what game buffet syndrome is. Game buffet syndrome is, let's look at community gamer feedback across the board and across the spectrum and put everything in that people want. Oh, it should have rogue elements. Oh, it should have Souls-like elements. Oh, it should have action-adventure elements. It should have a skill tree. It should have customization. It should have base building. It should have survival elements. And you throw all that in your game and people are like, I don't understand what this is. Like, you can make a big pot of soup and throw in every ingredient from people in your house. Like, bro, I love a nice spicy sriracha. Can you put a little bit of, oh man, I really, really like cabbage. Oh man, I really, really like a stew. I like beef. I like carrots. I like corn. You just throw it all in there and then it tastes like crap. There's a balance I can ask. They can say no and then I don't buy and move on. Well, of course, which is what I do. That's what I've done with Sea of Thieves. Hey, can you put PvE servers in your game? Your game's beautiful and fun. I'd love to crouch on my couch. That's a weird statement. I'd love to... Why would I say that? Crouch on my couch? What in the world? Chill on my couch. That was a weird... I don't know what's going on with my brain lately. I would love to chill on my couch and just relax with Sea of Thieves. And I can't do it. I want to play with that game with my wife. And I can't do it. You got no PvE servers. Do you know what I do? I move on. I just don't play it. I'm like, you didn't build the game for me. So, I'm out. I'm not playing your game. Jolly good show. What's good, Lufi? I think Sonic has this strategy. Initially underwhelming footage, create discourse since we probably wouldn't talk about it as much if it looked amazing. Then you release a banger level to generate sales. Crouch on my couch has a nice ring to it. I was like, what the frick? I think it was because I wanted to say chill on my couch and relax, and like chill and relax went in my brain and came out crouch. Like chill, relax, and couch all went into my brain blender and spit out crouch on my couch. The what? It's the 40 and over syndrome. I just talk too fast. My words trip on themselves sometimes. I get that the springs and stuff are iconic, but why can't they fit in the world, so have the springs and the bouncy mushrooms or floating rails, invisible aura, or propellers? This is what I'm wondering, Nicholas. This is what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if this central zone is where Sonic's not supposed to be. I wonder if he's supposed to not be there, and he's going out into these other zones, other worlds, other levels, or whatever, and as he's doing that, he's pulling elements of his world in, and then eventually maybe he gets back to where he's supposed to be. Maybe that's what's going on. Because the rails and the signs, none of it looks like it fits. It's like, what? This looks like you dropped... It literally looks like another game, and you're just like, let's just drop Sonic in there. And he just like lands on the ground. You're like, there's your video game! And you're like, what? Huh? There's a reason why I've only been disappointed in one game purchase in the past 5 years or so. Yeah, you just avoid games that don't do what you want. To be honest, I doubt it. Lono, I hope you know Crouch on my couch just became a new meme. Crouch on my couch, baby. There it is. That's the picture. That's the picture. All right, listen. Hear me out here. All right, hear me out. Hear me out. People are going to hate this because they're wrong. But guys, a reminder, first coffee order of the day I'm going to print, and my wife will ship it with today's orders. So if you've never tried our coffee before, if you're a coffee drinker and you've never had coffee with balanced acidity, you should really, really consider trying our coffee. All right, hang on a second. Let me pull this up. Now, here's the game. Here is Sonic, okay? Again, I still think this looks awkward. I don't know if you're ever going to convince me that this doesn't look awkward. It looks odd. Now, that's not a game breaker. That's a subjective impression, opinion that my brain and my eyeballs does. Like, that's just what my brain and my eyeballs is doing. It's like, okay, that looks awkward. You may look at it and be like, that looks awesome. Now, when I see this to me is significantly better. That looks like a 3D Sonic world. That looks like a Sonic game to me, right? He even has the checkerboard grid over here on the dirt. Like, this is great. I want to run around that world. The pixels on the grass and the trees. This is stylized, right? This is stylized. This is an art style. Okay? This is nothing. There's no style here. It's just like, again, I'm not trying to be a hater, but this looks like some prefab default world. It's like somebody went to the engine store and said, hey, you got grassy hills, mountains, and bushes, and you got like stone tablets? Yes, we do. Here you go. I'm like, thanks. And they just threw it on the map. It doesn't feel like there's been any love put into it. It doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like they've put anything. There's no Sonic spit shine on it. It's just a drab open world. This looks like Sonic Spitshine. It's like, oh, this is what it would look like to run around in a Sonic game if it were three-dimensional. This is stylized. This has got love on it. I'm not saying you have to go all the way to this. This is like level 11. This is almost like a unicorn farting in your face. It's like, brr, it's like, oh my gosh, it's so bright, it's almost offensive to your eyes. But there's a land between this and this that I think would look significantly better. This is preference. This is an objective fact. This is opinion. But I'm telling you right now, this is going to be a continued thing in gaming dialogue. This is going to be a continued thing in gaming dialogue. Art style. Because we are to the point where every game can look quasi-photorealistic. Realistic rocks, mountains, bushes, trees, grass, skyline, clouds. And just every game is going to start to look like that. Art style is where games come to life. If you look at, Hollow Knight Silksong, Ori and the Blind Forest, if you look at Hellblade, if you look at Ghost of Tsushima, these games have an art style to them. You will see a trailer in the future and you'll be like, it's Ghost of Tsushima! It's Ghost of Tsushima! You're just gonna know. It has a feel. There's a vibe. It's not just pretty trees and grasslands. That's going to we are on the precipice of too much photorealism. That I'm telling you, we're right there. Write it down. This will be dialogue we have for the next 5 years. For the next 5 years, we're going to be looking at trailers and I'm like, it's just another bland photorealistic game, guys. Like, it's just another game that spit out a bunch of generic engine-generated crap so that we could have trees and grass and a beautiful skyline. I guess Breath of the Wild sucks? No. No. Breath of the Wild has style. It has style to it. It's stylized. There's an art style, bro. Are you gonna try and tell me? Ah, dang it! Give me large pictures. Google image search. The frick is all this? What is this? Here. I'm trying to get a good picture. Chat. I can't get a good picture of him like up on a hill. Here's one. Like, this is stylized. From the tree to the grass to the rocks, there's a style to it. The trees themselves, the way that the grass looks. The grass it has a hint of realism. Like, the realism's like whispering through the art style. It's not the main thing. That like individual big long grass blades that are bright green, what the like, you can definitely tell they wanted this to look in between real and not real. Yeah, almost like cell shaded. Like, look at the lighting on Link's body and legs. Look at the grass. Look at the tree. Look at the texture of the rock side. You can tell. You can kind of see it in the fence. There's other elements here. You got to see more of the world to get the point. But the point that I'm driving at is art style. Art style is incredibly important because it makes your game stand out. Some of the games that I have played recently over on Reforge First Look. So we have a First Look channel. We have these new games that are coming out, and we wanted to have a great place to showcase them. So there was all these games that were announced during Summer Game Fest, and we've been putting them over there, okay? And one of the things that you're going to notice about all the games that we've been putting over here, okay? This is a great channel to subscribe to, by the way, if you want a steady stream of really, really cool games. If you watch Moonscars right here, and then watch Mad Shot, and then watch Tarnishing of Juxtia, they all have their own feel. Now, I will say Tarnishing of Juxtia was a little bit more generic pixel platformer, but Lost in Play is an even better example of a game that just absolutely looks beautiful. Just cool art style. It's like a living cartoon, right? And then you have Silt, okay? So, art style is incredibly important. Like, when you see a game that looks like this, All right? When you see a game that looks like this, almost like you're going to remember that. You're going to remember the animations. You're going to remember all the different things that were happening in the game. You're going to say, oh my gosh, it was so cool. It was kind of like a cartoon, comic book, squid face guy with guns and the blood splatter and the explosions. And this is going to be, in my mind, this is going to be more memorable because of the art style. Now, if they made it look like just some other generic platformer with a bunch of like prefabbed environments or whatever, then you wouldn't remember it. I think Ladat Brothers makes sense. Sonic is an unfamiliar place. He has no idea what's going on. The style in Frontiers is emphasizing Sonic's unwarranted existence in the world. If that's the case, Nicholas, I'm on board. I give that a thumbs up. If he slowly Sonic terraforms the world, then I'll be good with that. Breath of the Wild's reminiscent to Wind, Water art style, my two favorite Zeldas. If they wanted to make Sonic Frontiers to look more mysterious, how about fog by the sea, ominous music, a darker color palette, etc. Realism doesn't equal mysterious. They need to style the open world to make it look like a Sonic world from the gameplay as much as it seems really bland. Listen, I am 100% going to defend the game if Sonic's not supposed to be there. I'll defend the game if that's the case. But then that means the rest of the game, the other parts of the game, the other design choices, man, I don't know. It's got to look less bland and generic. It just looks generic. It's not, again, I'm not trying to be a hater. I am not trying to be a hater. If you're new this morning, we cover all kinds of games. I give games a fair shot, and right now what they've shown us of Sonic Frontiers gameplay, it's too generic for me to say this looks excellent. And the public is saying a lot of what I'm saying. They're like, I don't know, man. This game doesn't make much sense. And then he talks about the zone thing. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. People are calling for the game to be delayed. If he's in that world and it's just not addressed, then it's not good. I like your commentary style. Thank you. Sonicify the world. Yeah, if he Sonicifies the world by bringing in all these elements, like for whatever reason, like grind rails and bounce pads and rings start appearing, then I'm good with that. I think that's totally fine. That's totally fair. I think that works. True, just because Sonic is in a place where he doesn't belong, it doesn't mean that place is bland and has no culture. Right, like, if that's actually a good point. Even if that's the explanation, I still think you could have put a little bit more love into where he is, right? It could look better. Because if they made it look just a little bit more like it had an identity, like there was a little bit more color, you would still be like, why is Sonic in a real world? Why is Sonic in a world with like trees and like pallets of like stone structures and stuff? Why is he there? You could give the world its own identity, and then it would be like, what's he doing there? Because the enemies, they all look a little generic too, but they definitely look weird. And if the world looked weird with them, then you'd be like, whoa, where's Sonic? What's going on? It would create a mystery gap. It would create curiosity. Instead, like I've said many times, it just looked like they dropped him into like a technical test. Here's a world. It's just like a prefab, generic open world with some grass and some hills and some mountains. And we drop some Sonic grind rails and bounce pads. And we have some pillars that he can climb. And it's like, okay, are you just testing out Sonic's movement? Or is this an actual game? Like, what am I looking at here? Sonic World has always had realistic environments. Well, it's not, yeah, maybe realistic environment's not the right word. We might not be using the right word. It's the lack of identity in art style, Josiah. It's not that it can't be realistic. It's the style. The style seems so juxtaposed against Sonic's style. Even Sonic himself doesn't look like the world, right? Because if you look at this image, he doesn't look like the world. He has no texture whatsoever. He looks like a toy. He looks like a plastic toy. His shoes, his glove, everything about him, he does. And then he's standing on this rock with all this texture and shading and shadows and lighting. So like, I'm not saying he can't be in realistic environments. It's an art style thing. Now, if the art style thing is explained with like, oh, he's not supposed to be there, okay, cool, great. I'm actually interested in that. This is an early build. It's so weird to show an early build 6 months before the game comes out. This game is coming out fourth quarter. You're half a year away from the game's release. Why are you showing an old build? That's what's so weird. Maybe they want to keep it under wraps. Maybe this... Listen, I'm telling you, they could be pulling a total 900 IQ play, and they said, let the rough footage out. Yeah. Everybody will criticize it. Everybody will talk about how it looks, and blah, 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 blah. That's fine. The closer we get to release, we're going to pull a Sonic movie on them, and we're going to release gameplay that's going to look dramatically different and better. They could be pulling some kind of a 900 IQ play. I'm not going to say that that's not possible, okay? But I don't know. As we read the interview this morning, and as he talked about what their vision for the open zones are, I was just kind of like, are you sure about that, right? Are you sure that's what you want to do? You know? There's no way this is a 900 IQ play coming, says Joe. Not exactly weird, says Hot Chocolate. They did the same thing with Sonic Unleashed. Even in game development, trailers tend to be heavily edited, as the actual game will look different from the final. Chili Hog says, Sonic doesn't look like he fits into the world TBH, which is why Sonic Team would have used a different model for Sonic. Oh, should have used a different model. Imagine Sonic with the movie fur. Right, and Chili, maybe those are clues about the story, right? I'm not defending the game, but I'm thinking, okay, it seems like from the one trailer, Sonic's not supposed to be here. He like gets blasted through some portal or something, spits out on the other end, walks over to this hillside. It's like, where in the heck am I? So he's all cartoon, simple, almost looks like a toy, and then the world looks all realistic. It's like, I'm not supposed to be here. That's the vibe I get. They kind of have yet to substantiate if, like, that's the story. That's literally the story. Okay, so that's literally the story. Now, the other question then is, up to now, if they've only shown us the open zone, which they explain the open zone is basically like, that's the world map. You go into the open zone, you can like walk around, and then there's like these preset stages that you'll go into that will have things for you to do. If that's the case, then I would like to see one of the actual gameplay areas. If you're just showing us, like, if you're just showing us the zone, the in-between, the playground, that's not gotten the greatest reception. So maybe the closer you get to release, it'd be really great to showcase a level, showcase gameplay. Because if this has just been like a zone for people to kind of like fart around in, it hasn't really landed very strong. It hasn't landed in a strong way. Lono, Takisha Izuka is a Sonic dev. I just Googled him. Oh, okay. What? I'm not sure why you're saying that like you've had a eureka moment. I don't know why you're saying that. What's the relevance of your discovery? When's this coming out? Fourth quarter this year. Isn't it October? I feel like it's October. Or have they said? He's in your chat. That's the point. Sonic doesn't know what's going on due to amnesia, and the players are meant to be just as lost as Sonic. Oh, Elden Ring was the same. I don't know why this is an issue. If you're genuinely one of the people that worked on the project, Lamau, I'm not the actual Izuka. I was like, come on, why would Takashi Izuka be in my chat? Like, that would be the weirdest thing. I was like, if you're 100% him, then I'd be happy to ask you a bunch of questions. I don't think they said anything about a release date for Sonic yet. I thought they did. No, yeah, just fourth quarter this year. Because they said in an interview it was still coming. Yeah. He's a busy man, I would assume. Sonic Adventure 2 got an 89 and an 8.5. Best 3D Sonic for a reason. Sonic's brand has been irrecoverably damaged over the last few games. This is not the time to be putting out bad tech demos reviewed by incompetent IGN staff. They should put their best foot forward. Okay, even if you think the vision for the game and the descriptions of the game is totally fine, right? Let's say you're on board. Let's say you've read a couple interviews and you're like, yeah, I'm on board. This is awesome. This is going to be great. Can you at least admit that their showing hasn't been very strong? Like, I think that's my main contention is who greenlit this showing? Who thought that this was going to be received well? You've got ideas. You want to evolve Sonic. You want to do new things. That's great. That's awesome. I'm all about innovation if it benefits the gameplay, right? All is subservient to the content loop. If you made this decision with this open zone thing, it better be serving the content loop. It better be serving the content loop. The content loop is God. I've said this so many times. If you don't serve it, it will smite you. So if this open zone decision was done in order to serve the content loop, then good, yay. But this showcase is weak. It's not a good showing of the game. It's not that I'm saying the game will be bad or that their ideas are bad. It's that the showcase is not strong. It's not a strong showing. Sonic Frontiers most likely releases in November. Sonic Team has been crap with their marketing, especially when it started in Team Sonic Racing. Right now, Sonic Heroes looks and feels like a tech demo. I don't even know what Sonic Heroes is. Is that another game coming out? Content loop is the will of the game. I've always said it's the central pillar. It's God. If you don't serve the content loop, your game will fail. Don't get me wrong, I will play the game either way. I just have some preferences on how it looks. I'm not asking for gameplay changes yet. They're supposedly showing things all this month. Listen. We'll continue covering it. We will continue covering it. If you've never been here before, I love covering games and having live discussion. I keep it safe for work. You guys can subscribe in confidence. A lot of people throw me on in the background of their day like a podcast. We have covered this week. We've covered Starfield. I've got another Starfield show for you today. We've got some explanations about DLC and mods coming. We covered the AC Valhalla update. We covered the PlayStation Plus complete walkthrough, how it works, how you upgrade, etc. We talked about the latest Sonic Frontiers gameplay. We talked about that. Diablo 4, we looked at that new gameplay. We did members-only streams over the weekend. My wife and I played through The Quarry. There's 3 different parts to that. So if you want to become a paying member, there's that content as well. If you want to gift some members, there's tons of great names in chat right now that might enjoy this June celebration we've been having with members-only content. We do it every Thursday afternoon and Friday. Now, I have an appointment today. I should be back in time to do the members-only AMA today. I should be. I'm going to the cardiologist as long as it doesn't take for friggin' ever. I should be able to do your members-only AMA today. And then Friday nights is members-only as well. This month is going to be a huge members-only on June 24th. Big community game night with Fall Guys. And cool shirts, too. Yeah, I'm wearing an A-Team shirt today. All you young bloods in chat might not know what that is. I will never understand the sentiment of, I see game looks mediocre, but I'm still going to buy and play it. Why? Says Eugene. Unrelated, but do you have an Elden Ring review? I have an Elden Ring first impressions video, I'm fairly certain, and then I reviewed the end game. Now, I need to probably go back and do a complete Elden Ring review once I'm done with my No Summons playthrough. So, Elden Ring reviews, I covered all the reviews coming out. I responded to some criticism. Did I do my own first impressions? I must not have. I don't know if I must not have done a first impressions video. I thought that I did. I did a review of the end game and outlined the problems that I thought existed in the end game, but I did not I did not do a like a full-on review. My thoughts on the game has been slowly changing as I've played and as I've not summoned. My thoughts on the game have changed quite a bit. I'm still going to be critical of the end game. I still think there's decisions they made with the end game that I think was were poor decisions. I think they did things with some of the bosses, boss design, overuse of certain things. I still think that's something that will rub me the wrong way as I do a no summons run with a melee build, a melee strength build. Well, I guess melee strength build doesn't make much sense. It's like a sword and shield build. So that is that's kind of where I'm landing on it. Is like my opinion is changing, but I'm still going to hold to some of those endgame criticisms because I still think they did things near the turning point of the game and the endgame with some of the bosses and some of the use of area of effect and all this other stuff that I found to be annoying. But again, everybody's got different opinions. There are people that act like the game is flawless and has no problems. There are people that act like, the game is, horrible. There's people on both ends of the spectrum. So, Year of Sonic, people, let's go. Honestly, one of my biggest gripes with Frontiers is the leaked HUD. It just looks so ugly and generic to me. Right, like if your central hub of the game looks like what we've seen, that's concerning. It's like, why does it look like that? Give me 1 second. Oh, sorry, chat. I'm trying to drink more water in the mornings because it helps me feel way better. But Jiminy Christmas, I can't get very far in the show. I got an hour into the show and I was dying. And then none of the fans were running upstairs. I had to be dad again. So, right, Bobby, it sends a message that you're willing to pay premium prices for mediocrity, and people wonder why devs and publishers try to get away with the crap that they do. Abe says it's a 9.5 out of 10 game. It's not perfect, but it's pretty blank and close. I'm with you. Wait for reviews. Honestly, one of my biggest gripes with Frontier... Oh, I already read that. Yeah, my concern is if the Sonic Frontiers gameplay we've seen up to now, I'm like, but does that mean everything else is going to be kind of bland and kind of whatever? Is that going to be the theme of the game? Is the theme of the game going to be that it looks bland and the HUD, is all this stuff uninspired, The other thing that I thought was weird in the initial footage that they released, was why would you have the HUD hidden? If this game is coming out fourth quarter, which is right around the corner, okay, why is your HUD not ready to be shown? Do you see what I'm saying? I'll do it myself then. I heard there's confirmed sliders to adjust how Sonic controls. That's a huge win for everyone. I'll do it myself then. Yeah, they said that. They said that in an interview. You can make him faster. I'm like, you can just make the game faster if you want? I'm concerned about the length of the boost stages, says Nicholas. If they are as short as forces, then the motivation of going through the open zone dramatically drops. I mean, don't get me wrong, says Distorted Sama. The realistic background and environment looks great and all in a vacuum, but not for a Sonic game. I don't think anyone can convince me otherwise on that one. Yeah, I think I can get over the art style if there's reasons for it. Maybe the demo HUD's a placeholder. It's not the theme, it's the fact that a theory is Sonic is stuck in a simulation of some sort, and the AI voice instructing him to use the gears is some kind of proof to some degree. Yeah, you know, I'll be honest with you. I don't need a super deep story. I don't. Somebody earlier described something as like islands, and you'd like go to these islands to get these things and get these stones and blah, 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 and you like come back to the central place. And I was like, that's good enough for me. Like, that's good enough for me. I don't need it to be anything more than that. Like, that's good enough for me. I don't need Sonic to have like a strong love interest or to suffer sorrow or sadness, or you know what I'm saying? Like I don't need any of that. You don't need to give me this sense of purpose and sense of like, oh, here's what Sonic is doing, right? That would be my slight pushback of, you know, somebody said that. They were like, yeah, I need this, I need that. I need a great story. And I was like, no, I don't think so. Oh no, Amy dies. Shadow was amazing for one in the game. Personally, I miss when Sonic games had a great story like Sonic Adventure 2. Agreed, fun combat and exploration trumps the need for a masterpiece story. Just give us something that will give us an objective and keep our attention, and it will be good. Why can't I get the midlife crisis Sonic game where he's slower and has back pain and 2 kids? Sonic has to come to grips with crippling arthritis. He can't run anymore, you know? He has to find his purpose in teaching. Like Generations, never cared for the story, but hey, it's fun, so that's all that matters. Sonic walks everywhere, new and groundbreaking. Don't forget the reading glasses. Yeah. He's yeah, that's good. Is Sonic even relevant in 2022? I think all of the big names can always be relevant if done right? Mario, Sonic, Link, you know, Metroid. You know, these are iconic characters. I do. I think Sonic's up there with one of the more iconic characters. I don't think that there's a reason that his movie got the attention that it did, because it's a long-standing, recognizable character. Was that a teacher joke? No, that wasn't a teacher joke. The pack is back. Like, as an example, the latest Mario soccer game. They can just put Mario in a game and everybody's like, oh, it's going to be awesome. I strongly advise you not get the latest Mario soccer game, because I cannot believe how hard it is. I saw multiple people on Twitter talking about it. It's bewildering why they made it so hard. Graphics are dope. There's so much depth to it, so many things to unlock and do, and it is awful. It's terrible. I got it, played it with my kids, we put it on easy, and we were getting smoked. It was like the enemy, the AI was so aggressive, we couldn't enjoy the game. I struggled to keep possession of the ball against easy AI. I was like, what is this? I wonder why so many people are up in arms over Sonic. Sonic the Hedgehog is a Japanese video game franchise created and owned by Sega, starring the namesake character Sonic the Hedgehog, created by game designer. Okay, it has expanded into media several times, TV series, manga, comic books, and live-action film series. Yeah, since 91? Right. Yeah. Since 91. So it's like, of course people are going to take this seriously, you know? Of course. Oh, look at copies sold. 151 million. 151 million copies of like... Oh, if it's a Sonic title, it's included in that total. We're focused around Sonic and his main cast for so long. Seeing him and his friends with more Sonic characters from their world, it would help immensely to build out the world. Sonic's over 30 years old. It's a beloved franchise. Yeah. Mario Soccer. No mercy. Mario Soccer is hardly meant to be Dark Souls, lad. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I didn't understand it. I was like, why is this so hard? This is... I was legitimately confused. I thought we had done something wrong. I was like, did we load up the wrong thing? Like, what is this? It's the 15th best-selling video game franchise of all time. There you go. Strikers look so fun, though. Homie, I'm telling you, I'm just fair warning you. I booted up the game, we put it on easy, and I was struggling to keep possession and score goals on easy. It's insane. Exactly, you didn't understand it? Didn't understand what? Sonic is, I'm sorry, Mario Soccer is supposed to be like the Dark Souls of soccer games? People try to sound cool, thinking they're good at a Mario Soccer game, please. Try and talk down to others because they think it's hard. Oh, is somebody actually talking, like, smack to me? I wonder if the media outlets are going to be honest about the harsh AI in the Mario game, soccer game, compared to when other games do it. Oh. Hard games are fun. Stop crying. You don't know how to play? Oh. You're one of those people. Yes. Yeah. I know. I beat Dark Souls 3 and Sekiro, and I'm on my second playthrough of Elden Ring doing a no summons run where I one-shot some of the harder bosses. But yeah, I don't know how to play hard games, man. I'm just a scrub, guys, you know? I beat Ishin at the end of Sekiro in 5 hours, and I struggle in Mario Soccer. Just total scrub squad, you know what I'm saying? All I'm saying is try getting better at the game. Okay. Try to do something right now. Try to do something. Try to listen instead of preemptively type a response. Just take a second and listen. Just listen to the things I'm going to say. I'm going to make a case to try to change your mind. And it's a fun experience to have your mind change because it's like stretching a muscle. Okay. Mario Soccer on easy, right? With my kids was brutal and hard. That's not thematically or contextually sensible. I didn't go in and play a tournament. I didn't go online. I didn't set the game to hard. There is difficulty settings. I attempted to play a fun, cartoonish soccer game with my children on easy, and it was absolutely brutal, and we lost. So maybe listen and think like an intelligent human being instead of just living in some weird bumper sticker statement platitude world where you're like, try to get better. Hard games are fun. You're not having a conversation with me, right? You're not even listening to what I'm saying. You just aged out, admit it. Yeah, I aged out of Mario Soccer. I just aged out. I aged out, man. Like, imagine downloading, like, Kitten Babysitter. You know, you're like, oh, look at this game. Look at this game. It's Kitten Babysitter, and you boot it up, and, like, it's brutal and terrible, and the neighbor dog busts through the fence and eats all the kittens because you didn't work fast enough. And you'd be like, what the frick? I didn't know this game was going to be like this. This is hard. I put it on easy, and all the kittens are dead, and there's blood everywhere. Oh, my gosh. The owner's going to come home, and I'm going to get fired, and that's going to be game over, and I'm going to have to start over. Oh, this is terrible. Get good, bro. You should have known that Kitten Babysitter was going to be a hard game. I think Mario Soccer is learnable, period. Come on, that was a good joke. I can't always scroll up for stuff. What is this today? Mario Strikers is so easy it makes Battletoads look hard. Wait. Huh? Oh, it's so easy that it makes... I get it. Mario Soccer Souls. The problem with Mario Strikers Battle League is it's hard to keep up on the ball in which opponents has because of how small everyone looks. The classic Striker games done the matchup better. Wait, is there Starfield new leaks? Oh, because of the next stream? The next stream is about an interview about DLC and mods with Todd Howard. He confirmed some things. We're going to be talking about what it means. Yeah, that's our next stream. That's our next coverage. I had a meeting, just got back. What's the issue with new Strikers? It is unbelievably hard. I played it with my kids. We played 2 matches and shut it off. They were so disappointed. We went into 1 match on easy and we got demolished. I didn't understand it at all. Here's a nice voice I've not heard in a while. Good morning, Lono. Hey, what's good, Surge? I have got to where I don't even like playing hard games. Not enjoyable for me. I love hard games in small doses. I do. That's why I like playing games like Elden Ring and Dark Souls and Sekiro. But Mario Soccer on easy, I didn't expect to find a sweat box of frustration. It was just not... I think that's a fair expectations. Yeah, it's on the Switch. Yeah. I've noticed most of the Get Good crowd either suck at games or they're good at games because they suck at life. In my experience, the people that say Get Good, they just want attention because that's all they've got. Maybe it's because you were playing Strikers with a couple of babies. That seems very un-Nintendo, at least modern. The kids were kind of interested in that one. I've seen multiple reviews about it. They're like, I don't understand what's going on. Like, why is this game so insanely hard? Yeah, there's couch co-op. Yeah, it was me and my 2 children. I think you can play up to 4 players. You might be able to play up to 8, like 4v4. See, but Dark Souls, Elden Ring, and the like aren't hard. They're learnable just like a sports game. I just can't. I can't with folks like you, man. You're on some other plane of thought that's not intelligent. You're on some plane of thought that's like deluded into thinking that every game is meant to be a lesson and every game is meant to be like daddy sensei, like teach me daddy, punish me daddy, I want to learn more daddy. Like you're just, it's just a weird. To think that it's okay for a Mario Soccer game to be brutal and challenging and awful on easy. Just learn and get better. What? Huh? Games have difficulty modes for a reason so that like I can play them with my kiddos and have fun and not be like, suck it up, 6-year-old. Life is pain. You must learn from the pain and grow. Yes, cry. Feel the tears and the rage grow inside you. Let that fire burn. Every loss is a chance to improve. And my wife's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's Mario Soccer. And I'm like, but this guy on the internet said that I'm supposed to get good and that every game is a chance to improve. Every opportunity, I'm listening to, mindless, thoughtless, empty platitudes that are philosophically bankrupt and act like every game is supposed to be the exact same. Sir, this is a Wendy's. Sir, this is a Wendy's. A difficult game doesn't mean fun. I love Doom Eternal's difficulty, but it feels fair. That's good, hard fun, but sometimes you just got unfair, difficult games that aren't fun. Yeah, sometimes you just want to play a video game with a 6 and an 8-year-old and laugh and have a good time. You know, what a novel idea, right? Not everybody wants to play a game and be like, it's okay, guys. Listen, I know you're 6 years old, you're 8 years old, and I know this is upsetting and this has been incredibly unenjoyable, but, you know, we just lost 7 games in a row. We'll get back at it next week. I guess Farming Sim is supposed to be like Oregon Trail with your tractor breaking down and the family dying of hunger. Yeah. Welcome to Earth. Play Mario Party then? Okay. Lono sat there punishing his kids every time they lose the ball. Yeah. Earlier you were saying if the game isn't for you, don't play it, so don't, and you didn't. Like, see, the problem with someone like you is you aren't even engaging with what I'm saying. The game is a cartoonish Mario soccer game, and it has difficulty settings. So, if you want it to be hard because you want every game to punish you like a daddy with a whip, good for you, man. That's awesome. I put the game on easy, and it wasn't easy. So, again, like, you just sound stupid. You're acting like a Mario soccer game on easy should just be hard and I should suck it up cupcake. Like, they didn't promote the game as a hard game. What I was saying earlier, you know, as you rip my comments out of context because you lack the intellectual honesty and the ability to argue like an intelligent person, when I said that earlier, that's about a game where you understand the premise, you understand the parts and the pieces, like Sea of Thieves doesn't have PvE servers, or like Dark Souls doesn't have difficulty settings, or like, oh, if you're going to play Starfield, they're being very open and honest about how the game's going to work. And if you don't like those things, then don't play it. There was absolutely nothing marketed about Soccer Mario that was going to be a brutal, hard game. Right? You're saying I'm stupid is childish, mate. I'm not insulting you other than saying to try to get good. You're insulting everybody's intelligence in chat by arguing like a complete and utter moron, actually. Yeah, you're dragging the vibe down by being a dum-dum. Yeah. Sometimes people need to be told that they're being a dum-dum, and you're being a dum-dum. You're grinding that get good, learn from hard games axe on Mario Soccer. Like, the lack of self-awareness and base-level social intelligence is staggering. Like, you are probably a joy to be around at parties. It's Mario Soccer. I didn't take my kids into Neo or Dark Souls 3. It's Mario Soccer. You're being a dum-dum. You'll get further in life by not being a dum-dum. You dum-dum? You have to crouch on the couch. Jiminy Christmas. I have entire videos defending FromSoft against the need for difficulty settings. Like, I've argued about the principle behind that and why that's so important, why we don't need difficulty settings in Elden Ring, and why we don't need difficulty settings in FromSoft games. I've argued that exhaustively with people. But to tell people to get good in a family party game called Mario Soccer, it lacks such basic level intelligence. Like, you need to be told that you're being a dum-dum. Like, you need to hear that, and it needs to sting a little bit. Future Game Show, Parma Mana, quick update. Big thank you for streaming the Future Game Show. Oh, please send us a link to your co-stream and let us know if you have any feedback on the show. Always looking for ways to improve the experience. As a token of our appreciation, we are delighted to offer you a free game code for Amanita Design, who shared a new trailer for their upcoming game title, Phonopolis, in Future Game Show. The code is for their 2020 release, Happy Game. Finally, don't forget Future game show. Oh, well, that's so kind. Just wasn't crouching on the couch hard enough. Got to crouch on the couch, baby. You just got to crouch on the couch. He's gone full. You should never go full. Yeah, man, you went full, bro. You went full. You never go full. You never go. You never go full. Feedback, less copyright music. You know what's funny? Future Game Show doesn't use copyright music. It's the dadgum trailers that use copyright music. I'm not gonna say anything to them about that. FIFA on amateur is barely a game. That's what I'm saying. I could go download any sports game right now. I go download any sports game right now, and I promise you, on easy, it's a freaking clinic. You're just putting on a score. The score just goes up. Yo, $10 from Infinite. Yo, been hard for me to catch the streams in such a long time. Glad to see you well and still ripping up the dum-dums. Love it. Thank you so much for the $10 tip through Super Chat. That's very generous and very kind. I'm telling you right now, you could probably go get any sports game right now. FIFA, Madden, you know, big busty volleyball game. Who the frick cares? You put it on easy and you're just going to put on a clinic. You're not even going to get challenged. Madden on rookie, you can run by the entire defense. Right, like, what's the point in having the easy mode if it's not easy? Back to Sonic, even the music isn't Sonic at all, or am I wrong? I'll be honest with you, I've not paid any attention to the music. But music can make or break a game. Good music can literally change the entire game's quality. It can take it up a notch. It can take it all the way up a notch. Yeah, the opposition just watches you play on the easiest difficulty. Busty Volleyball, definitely easy. It's designed for them to play. Shut up, Eugene. Shut up. That's exactly what I was looking for. Like, having fun with my kids, passing it, pass it back. Now I'm going to pass to you. Oh, we scored. Yay. Like, we can't do the most basic things because the game is so aggressive. That's what I thought we were going to do. Like, my son's playing as Bowser. I was going to teach him to go center. I'll pass it to you. You can one-time it. This is awesome. This is fun. Yay, we won 7-1. Right? We're high-fiving. We're giggling. We're laughing. It's a great Saturday morning. Instead, we got blood and pain and tears. It was like, what the frick is this? What did I spend my money on? I hereby give Eugene this week. Well done, sir. Get pummeled 10-0 and they go to bed crying. But at least they've learned games are hard. Yeah. Life's hard. Life is hard. Life is pay to win. You know what really was disappointing about the Life is pay to win clip? It didn't do very well as a short. I was really disappointed. I thought that clip was gold. Gold, Jerry, gold. It was gold. Life is pay to win. I was so disappointed. It didn't do well at all. It's like our worst performing short. I think people saw Diablo Immortal. They're like, get out of here. Like, frick that friggin' game. Diablo Immortal. Diablo Immortal took my life savings. Nobody wants to see that game, bro. Holy moly. I was so disappointed. Yo, good morning, Swamp Zombie. Woke up today and had to buy a battle pass just to start my day. That's funny. That's good. That's really, really good. I had to buy a battle pass. Oh, man. Really sucked, bro. Battle pass. It's so dadgum difficult. Oh. Life is pay to win. Mario Strikers isn't meant to be beaten. It's about the friends you made along the way. Like my kids put on like headbands, like tie them tight. It's like Rambo's like. It's like. And then we sit down and play, and we lose. Oh man. Was I too hard? Was I too hard on that guy? I felt like I gave him a lot of rope. I feel like I gave him a lot of rope. I'm like, I'm gonna give you some time here to see how stupid this is, right? I feel like I gave him a lot of rope. No, you weren't. Okay. You beat him with bamboo sticks as a warm-up. Yeah, I have them hold out their hands, like I hit their hands with bamboo sticks, like, we need calluses on your hands. I don't want to hear about how your hands hurt. Daddy, Papa, my hands hurt. Can we stop playing? Oh my. He was getting on my nerves. Gatekeeper in some Mario game. That's what I'm saying. What is going on? What is going on with my internets? Looks like our domains are lagging out. No, they're fine. Just internet gonna internets. How do you make the internets go faster? Okay. I told you guys it was gonna be a quick day, and I wasn't kidding. Hoi, hoi, hoi. Nice strong start to the day, and now we got another good topic. Got another good one. Nah, you gave him enough rope to choke himself while playing Busty Eugene, man. It's that time of the month, huh? Okay. Okay. Already confirmed. Okay. We are switching gears here. We are switching gears. The latest Starfield update is that there will be Starfield DLC as well as Starfield mods. An interview with Todd Howard breaks it down. I want to discuss this. This was a significant aspect of a debate we had recently about Starfield gameplay and everything that's entailed that might be lacking or dissatisfying. People saying that the Starfield modding community will basically have to save the game. If you look at Bethesda's history, that is something that people commonly bring up. I'm going to give you all the details right here at the beginning of the video. I'm going to redirect people from the previous stream. If redirect doesn't work, I put a link in chat for you guys. We are switching from this morning. We talked about Sonic Frontiers. If you missed that stream, we broke down exactly what is open